to Allah, honors to the Prophet Abu Ali, honors to Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey Bay, forerunner of the Prophet Abu Ali, the Jesus return. Marcus Messiah Garvey Bay, it happens to be the John the Baptist return. Honors to all harbingers who paved the way for all Moorish American leaders, membership, etc., etc. Today's topic tonight, going into the AM, is lifestyle. We have to open up with the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day. To His Holy Prophet, Islam. Family. I chose this topic tonight because we all have different choices in life. Some wants to live that adulterous lifestyle, promiscuous lifestyle, having a spouse and having a side boyfriend, girlfriend on the side. The Bible and the Quran forbids us Moorish Americans to partake in that lifestyle. Mainly the men. Now, one thing that about Islam is that it condones is having a girlfriend and same-sex marriage and changing your gender, so to speak. You can't change your gender, not unless you go through the legal process and all this and stuff. But that's going to take a lot of money, a lot of work. People have different lifestyles. Some people choose gang banging. Some people choose not gang banging. Some people choose to live promiscuous lifestyle, and they choose to be scammers. Should I say courtesans and thieves? These things that we see that on a various lifestyle that people choose to live is not for everybody, but this is what makes United States corporation dealing with all those different types of activity, sexual activity, what do they call that? Pedophilia, zoology. Europeans allow that. They love that lifestyle. So-called white people love that lifestyle. They live that. They even love being dirty, and they get off on that. They get aroused. To me, it causes anxiety. It causes stress. It's not normal for a person to be humiliated, raped, sexual assaulted, essayed, whatever you want to call it. That's not a good lifestyle to live, and then especially when it's being done to children. See, what's going on with this demonstration is that they're promoting this homosexuality because the main thing they want to target is the children. And the only reason why they want to target the children because they already know that if they target the children in Hollywood or sex trafficking, they're going to allow the children not to reproduce themselves, and they're going to allow the children to reproduce themselves amongst under strict control authority of these powers that be that control this behavior. So if you notice that they put this all through the media, all through the movies and stuff like that, because they allow it. People get paid to have a promiscuous lifestyle, sexual orgies even, especially in Hollywood, especially with the Rothschild Rockefeller family, the Jewish community, the LBGTQ, the Masonic Order, Eastern Stars. They do all this stuff. This has nothing to do with Islamism. Christians do it, you know what I'm saying? Some people with different lifestyle change their attire to to be lady boy in Asia. This is disgusting lifestyle. But this is what our children are supposed to be. Their supposed lifestyle of whatever you want to call it. That's supposed to be okay. These are supposed to be your role models. I want my brothers and sisters out there to understand and think like, no, this is not hate bashing or nothing. This is just straight facts. If you want your child, you know what I'm saying, to live a good lifestyle, a good peaceful lifestyle, and be fruitful and multiply, as it says in the book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, I'm saying this because the children are the future. Now, I'm going to tell you this straight up. There are people who do not agree with this agenda. There are people who are straight bigots in race, so-called racists. I say that for a reason. And there's Europeans, so-called white people, who don't even like that racism type of stuff. There's Caucasian white, so-called white folks who don't even like that white power stuff. They'll sock them straight in the esophagus if they don't play that. But I'm telling you this because it's too much variety going on and there's too many options. See, my thing is this. If you want to have a good, fruitful lifestyle, and you want to be fruitful and multiply, right? You want to reproduce yourself. That's okay. As long as you're not in the part of the world where you only can have one child, which is China. China wasn't always like that. That became later in time. But my thing is this. Children are being reproduced and they're being taken advantage of by mama and papa because they're not being looked after. They're not being catered to and being a child, but they have to learn how to be an adult and hustle and be prostitutes and pimps and hustlers at a very young age, especially out here in the USA, in the 50 states or 48 states or whatever you want to call it. Mainly Puerto Rico, Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So we have all this disgusting behavior that Allah, or shall I say Dios Santo, does not even allow. But we can sit here and talk about for the others to say it's okay to be gay and be homosexual and rape children and turn them out to be lesbian and bisexual and homosexual men, but they're looking down upon Solomon for having 700 wives and 300 concubine European Edomite women. Wow, that's a problem to me. If this man can't reproduce himself, which brings abundance of children into our generation, our modern day bloodline, who are descendants of Solomon, right? So if Solomon did not have 700 wives, a lot of us would not exist right now. If you really think about it. Because Solomon, the one in the Bible, had multitudes, thousands of children, thousands. It's a lot of babies. But of course, he was rich. He had wisdom. He asked for wisdom. Because Allah asked him, what do you desire? I don't want riches. I don't want that. I just want wisdom. That's what he asked, a gift from Allah. He was granted wisdom. And since you haven't been, don't want riches, I'll give you riches. Well, but wisdom leads to riches. And Solomon debunks being wicked and evil and all this other stuff. But when you take upon thyself a wife, you tend to lose yourself, and these women, you tend to take upon their ways and teachings, and you lose yourself with them. to the point that your heart can be turned away from Allah. So he turned away from his higher self and started worshiping after these same gods of these Edomite women. A lot of these women were not Asiatic women. These were European women. So you have to understand that everyone's lifestyle is not agreed upon by other people. You say to each his own and move on. But the thing is trying to shelter your children away from it. That's an issue because the children have to be taught between right and wrong. Not the other way around where the children are choosing what's right and wrong for them, but the mother and father cannot guide their decision and lead them and teach them the right way. So you mean to tell me that the child could raise a mother and father? This is a backward society. Well, a lot of people don't know, a lot of people don't understand. They will never understand that how it takes to raise a child. So you mean a child knows everything more than the mother and father? Okay, alrighty then. Now we begin to see why a lot of these children are foster children who don't have a sense of direction and they go into a life of crime, and then there's others that just don't. But again, this is lifestyle. But did you know that because of the Jezebel spirit, a lot of these women are being destroyed? Mainly these so-called European, so-called Caucasian women who are supposedly Karens that are not Karens. They need to be called Jezebel because they carry that Jezebel spirit. These ones need to be called the sons of Herod because they carry that Herod spirit. Anybody who don't honor me, I'm going to kill them on sight. Well, that's the facts. When are y'all going to open your eyes and start seeing that there's two different types of people? Two. We have the one who represents the righteousness, the one who's the sultan of all sultans, the wisest, the most rich in mind and rich in heart, one for the people as he wants for himself. We have the Sultan Suleiman, Sultan Solomon, or should I say modern day King Solomon, because he was even the king. The word king is a modern word. We can't use modern word for ancient word. We can't do that. It doesn't make sense. Ruth Moabitess, the woman of righteousness, who was also a righteous woman, who Allah used to reunite the nations, which is a grandfather of Solomon. This is what we need to understand, pet family. This is what we need to understand, little children. That Jezebel is the worst woman of all time. She covets. She does not obey the 10 Commandments. Her thoughts are of the devil. She's very promiscuous. Just like these women out here are promiscuous. I bet you she don't know who the child's father is. Right? Let's make for sure that we understand the difference between right and wrong. It's good to have a spouse, but it's wrong to have a fake relationship, which is boyfriend and girlfriend. There's nothing real about that. And I'm going to explain why. Because all it is saying that you're playing house. And the person that you end up with may get you pregnant and you have unwanted pregnancy. And next thing you know, you have a child's father who don't want nothing to do with the children. We have to understand the condition. We have to understand why these things come about. We have to understand why these young women are so promiscuous and these mothers and fathers don't care and let the children do whatever they want. And this goes for the sons too, because they're no different. A man can't have fallopian tubes and have a uterus to create a baby. A woman is the only one who can do it. I don't know where people get this fabrication of this way of thinking of indoctrination that a young man can carry a baby. Well, not unless he happens to be have two sexes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's very unheard of. So he has no part in female parts. Okay, all right, that's a rare situation. That's not always the case. We have to be very, very careful in what we study and what we read. We got people who are gun-ho lesbians who will fight. We got people who fight. We got people who are gun-ho Christians and they will fight in their Ku Klux Klan. But yet and still, people choose what they want. But I say all those Greek fraternities and so on, those are good for those who prefer it. There's no salvation in Greek fraternity or Greek sorority. This is what I know for a fact. And can't nobody tell me otherwise because that's what I know. So, let me tell y'all this much. You guys have to make the choice and decide what you're going to do for yourself. You gotta make the choice to say what is right for you. Because you know, my thing is this: I got people who I know personally who are married, death to their part. They have two wonderful children, and these wonderful children became a bad fruit. They have bad habits, but none of these children want to have a spouse and settle down and get married, but they have children. So no matter what example mother and father have brought, they still chose to go the other way. And they both hard-headed, so they ain't gonna listen anyways about relationship. No one can tell anybody about a relationship. Cousins are the worst people to go to, especially if they're not married, never been married. They fake it a marriage. They think that a domestic partner or life partner is a marriage. No, it's not. It's far from it. And a lot of people fail to pay attention. A lot of people don't want to understand the condition. They refuse to understand the condition. Don't even like the idea no more. Now the whole thing goes down to is, what are you choosing for yourself? What do you want for yourself? Not what society tells you, but what does Allah want for you? I don't care if you are homosexual, but you cannot reproduce a baby. Adopting a baby doesn't mean that's yours, especially the child that come from your loins. Speaking of facts, y'all can get upset with me all you want. I don't care. The truth is the truth. Now, those who want a loving environment and have a ready-made family already, and these wonderful mother and father want to adopt children, that's a different story. They will afford it. You know what I'm saying? No wrong with adoption. Adoption is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, really, for those who went through hell. You know, I'm just being honest. I'm going to continue this one because I like this show right here. Continue this show right here on a new day lifestyle. So I'm about to close this out with more American prayer because I got some things to do. Father, Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, and justice. God is my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day. Through His Holy Prophet, Joel, Amin. Islam.